All right, let's dive into the sometimes kind of scary world of investing. I get it. Sometimes feels like it's only for, those Wall Street people, but really it's something anyone can learn, and that's what we're doing today. We're going to make it super easy to understand, and we're going to be looking at this episode called Investing 101: How to Grow Your Money the Smart Way. It's from the podcast Investing for Beginners in the USA, and I got to say, I was actually really surprised by how much it made sense. One of the things I thought was really cool was this analogy about planting a tree. They were talking about how investing, it's not really about getting rich quick. It's more like taking care of something that grows over time. And that got me thinking, if we thought about investing that way, it might feel a lot less scary and a lot more just natural. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally get that. The great analogy, and it actually reminds me of a point the episode makes about compound interest, which can seem a little complicated at first, but it's really just about giving your investments time to grow. Just like a tree needs time to grow, investments need time to kind of do their thing. It's not about getting rich quick. It's about letting your money work for you over time.
That makes a lot of sense. And speaking of long-term thinking, the episode really focused on, fighting back against inflation, that thing that makes your money worth less over time. I mean, seriously, who wants to work hard and save all their money only to have it disappear because things are getting more expensive? Investing seems like a way to fight back against that, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. That's actually a key point they make in the episode. One of the main reasons to invest is to beat inflation. If you leave your money in a savings account, it might feel safe, but really it's losing value little by little. Investing, though, that's a way to grow your money faster than inflation can eat it up.
Okay, so we're convinced investing's important if you want to build wealth and stay ahead of inflation. But what are we actually talking about when we say investing? What are we putting our money into?
Well, the episode talks about 5 common types: stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and ETFs, real estate, and retirement accounts. That's a lot of options.
And each one has different levels of risk and potential for growth. Stocks, for instance, mean you own a little piece of a company. Bonds are more like loans you give to the government or the companies. And then there's real estate, which can mean buying property, and of course, retirement accounts like 401ks, which are specifically for saving for retirement. But for someone who's just starting out, mutual funds and ETFs might be a good place to begin.
Ooh, tell me more about those.
Well, think of them as like baskets of stocks or bonds, but they're managed by professionals. And that's great because it means you get instant diversification, which the episode talks a lot about. Diversifying is really important because it means you're not putting all your eggs in one basket. It's like having a chef make you a really balanced meal. Okay, that definitely sounds a lot easier than trying to figure out the stock market all by myself. So we know investing is a good idea, but where do we even start?
Well, the episode has this 4-step plan that I thought was really helpful. First, you set your goals. Then you start small. Then you choose a brokerage. And then you learn as you go, and you got to be patient. They really break it all down in a way that makes it seem manageable. What part stood out to you?
Yeah, I really like that they emphasize starting small. You don't have to be some kind of investing genius right away. It's more like just do what you can, even if it's just a little bit, and then you can build from there. It's like that tree thing again. You start with a tiny seed, and then you take care of it and watch it grow over time. So speaking of starting small, what about this whole brokerage thing? What even is a brokerage anyway?
Well, it's basically like a website or an app that lets you buy and sell stocks and bonds and mutual funds and stuff like that. It's kind of like an online store, but for investments. And there are lots of different brokerage options out there. The episode says you should do some research to find one that's right for you and your budget. Some of them let you do everything yourself, and others give you more help and advice. Oh, and one more thing, don't forget, if your work offers a 401k with a matching contribution that's like free money, you shouldn't miss out on that.
Right, free money, who doesn't love that? But okay, let's be real for a second. Even with a brokerage and all that helpful information, investing can still be a little scary. Like, what if I mess up? What if I lose all my money?
I totally get that.
Yeah.
It's a common worry, and the episode actually talks about some of the most common investing mistakes people make. And one of the biggest ones is trying to time the market, which means trying to guess the absolute best time to buy and sell to make the most money. Sounds good, but it's really hard to do even if you've been investing for a long time.
Yeah, that sounds about as easy as predicting the weather a month from now. So what other things did they say to avoid?
Another big one is investing money that you're going to need soon, like to pay your rent or bills. The market can go up and down, especially in the short term. So if you invest money that you need right away, you could end up losing some of it. It's best to invest money that you can afford to leave alone for a while and let it grow.
Okay, so it's all about being patient and not freaking out when things change, which I guess is easier said than done. How did they say to deal with those ups and downs in the market?
They said the most important thing is to stay calm and remember why you're investing in the first place. You know what your goals are. It's normal to feel worried when the market goes down, but if you make decisions based on your emotions, you might end up making things worse. They pointed out that historically the market always recovers after a downturn, so if you just wait it out, you'll probably be okay.
It's kind of like that tree again, even when it's winter. The tree doesn't just die, it survives, and then it starts growing again in the spring.
Exactly. Yeah. And that reminds me of another mistake they talked about, not diversifying. Remember that saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's what diversification is all about. It means spreading your investments out so that you're not putting all your money in one place. That way, if one investment does badly, the others can help balance things out.
So diversification is all about managing risk. But how do you actually do that? How do you build a diversified portfolio? Do you have to figure it out all by yourself, or are there things that can help?
Yeah, diversification definitely sounds like a good idea, but it also sounds kind of complicated.
Hmm.
Are there any, tools or resources that can help with that?
Oh, yeah, for sure. There are things called robo-advisors, which are basically like computer programs that can help you build a diversified portfolio. They use algorithms and stuff to figure out what investments are right for you based on, how much risk you're comfortable with and what your goals are. It's kind of like having a robot financial advisor. And then, of course, you can always talk to a real financial advisor, too, if you want more personalized help. Okay, that's good to know. So there are options for everyone, whether you want to do it yourself or have someone help you. But I guess the most important thing is just to get started, right? Which can still feel a little scary.
Yeah, the episode really emphasizes that the best time to start investing is right now, like today. You don't need to have a ton of money to begin with. Even if you can only invest a little bit each month, that's totally fine. The important thing is to just start doing it and let that compound interest do its thing over time.
It's like that saying, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, but the second best time is today. And that tree analogy that really stuck with me throughout this whole episode, it's a good reminder that investing, it's not about getting rich quick. It's about being in it for the long haul.
Exactly. It's like you're planting a seed and then you're nurturing it over time and letting it grow.
Yeah.
And just like with a real tree, there are going to be good times and bad times. Some years it might grow really fast and other years it might slow down a bit. But if you're patient and you stick with it, you'll eventually have a strong, healthy tree.
I like that. That's a great way to think about it. So to wrap things up, I think the key takeaway here is that investing doesn't have to be scary. Start small, diversify your investments, be patient, and don't be afraid to ask for help if you need it.
And remember that tree we were talking about? Imagine it years from now, tall and strong, providing shade and maybe even some fruit. That's the power of investing. So now that you've got a good basic understanding of investing, what part of it are you most interested in? Maybe you want to learn more about the stock market, or maybe real estate is more your thing, or maybe you're really fascinated by that whole compound interest thing. Whatever it is, take that curiosity and run with it. Your journey to financial well-being starts with that first step.
If this podcast helped you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps us keep making these videos. Thanks for watching.